Hey, what's up, everybody? You're tuning in to another live episode of the Juicebox Heroes podcast. I'm one of your hosts, PK. And as always, we have the Dubon Fan Club president rocking the 04 lid. Sweet B Bones, Bras is in the house. What lid we got today, sir?
That is the Apollo 11 commemorative lid today.
Nice. I like it. As always, I'm rocking the Father's Day from last year because it's probably one of my favorite ones. But yeah, man, thanks for everybody tuning in. We got a pretty good show for you. Got a little bit update on Cam Smith mashing. We got an injury update. We got the first round of moves. Astros win today, so that was cool. But guys, how's everybody going? How's the week?
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty insanely busy. Pretty much my life is consumed by League City Little League baseball. Yeah, so I haven't really been posting, haven't really been putting stuff out as much as I would want to, but yeah, it's been crazy. We got a game tomorrow. Had a game with the Littles last night, so man, like bring on spring break. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Like it's definitely a lot.
Rouse, how we feeling, man?
Yeah, it's been a busy week, but at the same time, I'm doing good, buddy. Astros have been in spring training. They've obviously been trying to tweak a couple of things here and there. I know we're going to get into that here in this episode, but they've got some very interesting stuff going on. Whether it's a win or a loss, once again, I'll say it: spring training scores do not count, but what they're actually doing out there does. So anyway, we'll get into that and a lot more. What you got, PK?
Man, it's just same shit, different day. I'm not as busy as you guys on the extracurriculars, although my weekends are bowed up with club volleyball. So that's pretty much how my weekend goes with my daughter. So, but all in all, man, it's been good. Everything's been going good. Yeah, man, just excited to get to the spring. We're one day closer to opening day. We got I don't know if y'all know this, but we have a pretty good prospect that's mashing the ball right now. The one they call Cam Smith. Have y'all heard of this guy?
No, is he a new guy? No,
He's
idea.
new. We actually acquired him in a trade, Chris, this offseason. But no, he is. No, we still have that guy. But no, he has been mashing. I mean, just straight mashing. And I've got his early spring training stats. We got 7 at bats, 4 hits, 1 triple, 2 bombs, 6 ribbies, 1 strikeout. And of course it's spring training. It's spring training, so let's not. His average is 571. I mean, like the dude's mashing the ball when he gets up there. It's really cool to see. So much hype around this kid, and he's actually for right now, is living up to that hype. So the dude's just straight balling. I think it's awesome. What do you think? Or what do y'all think?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, like it's pretty crazy to like have a rookie. I think we kind of talked about this a couple of weeks ago. It's kind of crazy to like you look at Twitter, you're looking at Facebook, you're looking at however you're getting your social media, and it's like it just kind of blows my mind that we're having this much talk about a kid who, when you think about it going into spring training, it's like you don't really I don't think anybody really expected this kid to make to really. I mean, we knew that he was going to be our number one prospect coming into this, but as far as like, I don't think anybody had any real like expectation that he was going to make the or push a fight or even have a conversation or make us have the conversation that he was going to be potentially having a roster spot. I mean, but it's crazy. It's like every day, like, I mean, all I'm seeing is updates on what Cam Smith's doing, and it's like, man, it's just again like I can't remember a time, maybe Jordan in 2019, but I mean I can't remember a time where we had a prospect where we were constantly getting this much information on in spring training. So it's pretty crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. It's like it reminds me a lot of when Springer was coming up. Right before, what was that, the 14 or 15 season? And then since then, I mean, we've had a couple of kids, that we've been able to get excited about. We've had, Loperfido, Chris, I know you've had Leon that you've been excited about too, but yeah, nothing on the caliber of what Cam Smith is doing right now. The one thing that I do want to say is it's to put it in kind of maybe a golf perspective. It's like, this is just absolutely hitting piss missiles off the driving range. And then you get to the first tee, and then what happens after that? So, I mean, if he can continue to keep this going, even when he gets assigned to AAA, then you're right. I mean, the hand is going to be forced at some time. But one of the things we have talked about is, when is he actually going to be coming up, just due to how much control the Astros are going to have over him. And I'm really hoping they don't end up, just trying to push it out and push it out and push it out, unless we absolutely don't need him. Now, I mean, if we go 30-5 in our first 35 games, he's going to be sitting down there for a while. But, other than that, if he keeps performing like he is right now, I mean, you're going to see him real soon.
Yeah, I mean, I was seeing that just this past week on X. I think our buddy H-Town Wheelhouse, put a poll out about, when can we expect him, or some along those lines, right? So you're gonna get all these. You got some knuckleheads that are like, oh, he's going to be on the, the opening day roster, which I don't see that at all, because then you lose a year of team control, right? I kind of feel it's going to be no earlier than May, right? Because they're going to want to hold on to that extra year of control. It does. So I think, we know that Dana Brown likes to push these prospects up through the ranks pretty quick. I saw something where, someone kind of threw out that, he's probably going to start at AA, play a handful of games there, move up to AAA, and see how he does there. And then, if he keeps mashing the ball, then he kind of forces, the organization to possibly take a look at him. And, now you're looking at maybe June, May, June, I would say, if it happens at the earliest. But, the Astros should and probably will, keep him down for as long as they can, so they can have that team control. I mean, that's the way to do it. That's the way to keep that prospect under team control. So it's going to be crazy to see, man. It's going to be pretty sick to, be able to go down to Sugar Land and see this kid play.
I mean, is there really a possibility that this kid makes a team out of camp? I mean, like, I agree with what you're saying about, like, it would make sense for them to not rush him, as far as, like, again, whatever that magical date is where they gain an extra year of player control. I mean, but, like, I'm just trying to think. I mean, if he can, and again, what did you say the stats were? There were 8 at bats, 9 at bats. Is that what it was?
You got 7 at bats, 4 hits, 4 runs, 1 triple, 2 bombs, 6 RBIs, 4 walks, and 1 strikeout.
So you're looking at about 11 at bats, right around there.
Man, pretty good. 11 plate appearances, my friend. Did you look the stats up?
There you go. No,
you just math. You just math.
I just have to math it sometimes. I mean, so, like, we still have 3 weeks essentially. What is it, the 5th? So yeah, we essentially have 3 more weeks. So let's just say he'll probably get another 20 at bats. I mean, PK and Browse, you can answer too. If you're Dana Brown, and let's say after 30 at bats, and again, I'm not saying this kid, I mean, because more than likely, I would say, realistically, like I said, he could hit 900 and he'd still go down. I mean, but, like, you have Christian Walker go out today with a oblique strain. He was pulled from the lineup. If this kid is hitting, like, let's say 400 in the by the time the end of spring training, he's got 25, 26 at bats. Do you toss around the idea? I mean, for what we've seen, I know Jake Myers kind of had some better luck today, or he's had better, results today. And again, too, you have to treat spring training with, how it is. I mean, but, like, could this really be a possibility? Because if you're looking at what Jake Myers is doing, which is, a little bit of something, his bat's kind of woken up the last couple games, but haven't really heard too much about Chaz McCormick. Is there a chance this kid gets called up and plays right field?
I mean, I think you got to see some more injuries before something like that happens. I mean, don't get me wrong. Christian Walker has a history of oblique strains, and that is not good. I've seen this before when he was playing for the Diamondbacks, but you're gonna need to see more than that. And the reason I say that is you've got options right now that you can pay for very cheaply, like a Brendan Rodgers that can play infield. Slide Dubon over to third base. God forbid we got to put him there. Keep in mind, we still have Isaac Paredes, or put Dubon in the outfield. But point being is you can't buy that extra year of control by keeping him in the minors until May. So, I mean, it would take, in my opinion, an unbelievable amount of luck and bad luck with injuries and good luck for him to actually be able to make the roster. So listen, as fans, I think we all want to see it, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I saw like a thing on Twitter right before we went on that is basically the same thing. Like it would take a disaster for Cam to, be on the opening day roster. But then directly under that was a picture of Christian Walker saying that he was scratched from today's game. And so but no, I really okay. So what the answer to that one was if Christian Walker is hurt for a lengthy amount of time, then you move Paredes over to first, and then Cam Smith goes to third. Right. So, I mean, look, we were going to get into Christian Walker a little bit later, but Browse, you covered it. Obviously, Chris, you hit it with him getting scratched today. Like he missed a chunk of games last season with an oblique. Right. He has the history of it, and I mean, I've never pulled my oblique, but these guys do, and they can be out for an extended period of time. So if, hopefully it's not serious with Walker, but if it is, I think that's a possibility that you do is moving Paredes to first. I mean, he had an error today. I mean, he booted the ball. I mean, I'm not, obviously he's going to make errors. He's not, we're just accustomed to a vacuum down there, at third base, but you move Paredes to first, you can put Cam at third. So I think there's a better chance now until we hear about the Walker injury and how serious it is. But I think other than that, I don't think that Cam Smith should be up at opening day, as exciting as it would be. Because what did Loperfido do in the spring last year? I mean, this.
Oh, he mashed.
He mashed. It was insane.
Right? Okay, but he started down, right?
Yeah, and he mashed there.
And he mashed. Now he wasn't the level of prospect that Cam Smith is, but he mashed. He mashed down in the minors, and we brought him up, and he had his moments. And even with him being up with us for like 2 months, he was still leading the minors in home runs. I mean, that's how much he was mashing. So I think again with however long the Christian Walker thing is, there's a possibility that you could do the Paredes to first, Cam Smith to third. I think there's a possibility, but I would like to keep him down as long as we can. Honestly, more team control. I'm very conservative. I'd be very conservative as a GM if it were me. That would be me.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense, and like even though we're talking about Paredes making that error, I mean he's no Sean Barry, I guess. I mean, but, everybody's gonna
forgot about that guy.
I mean, it's spring training. I mean, like I don't know, like I agree with you guys 100%. I mean, I don't see Cam Smith making the club out of spring. As far as I mean, like I said, it just makes too much sense for them to just wait on him. I mean, like, I mean, I think he might have bought himself. He might have skipped an additional 6 months. I know we all talked about 2026. Now we're talking about June, July. I mean, so we definitely, pushed the envelope 6 months, which, I mean, and again, too, like it's all going to depend on where we're at. I mean, who knows? I mean, we could be, in July, and hopefully we're not going through the same struggles that we went through last season. Maybe we're 10 games, 15 games above 500. Hopefully, by then we have the West on lock, and there's no need to rush him, right? So hopefully it's not one of those things where the injury bug, attacks everybody that, plays the infield, and you have to bring them up early. I mean, so I
Yeah,
don't
but
know,
I
but I
think
agree.
I think even if you have the West on lock at some point, like let's just say they're they're projecting over their what are they projected right now? 88. I think 88 wins is what
I saw
Vegas.
89 on Vegas last time.
So let's just say that
So
we're
what is that,
exceeding
89 to 73?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's just say they're exceeding the,
Chris is good
they're
on
above.
math tonight.
He's coming strong. He's coming. He's got a TI 82 sitting right in front of him.
You don't need to know
but
what's in front of me.
Yeah, I don't. You're right. Let's just say they're above pace for the season. So, God damn, I kind of lost my train of thought. That sucks. But what I'm saying is,
bad, man.
no, you're good. Essentially, it was that if even if we're up, like, do we still need to bring him in? Just because, right? Because, or do you think, like, even if we're still up, we're above pace on wins, but he's still mashing down in AAA, he's going to end up forcing the hand, whether we're up or down in the, in the standings. I think you can't just keep him down there. You can't just keep him down there to keep. I mean, you can. You can keep him down there mashing, but you're going to force.
I
He's going
agree.
to force the hand.
I don't think. I mean, I guess it depends. I mean, because then if you think about it too, like let's say they do have a big league, right? Or a big lead. I'm sorry. Does Cam Smith put you over the top if he comes up and immediately starts contributing, or do you call him up because you have a 12, 13 game lead, and the last thing you want to do is you don't want to turn him into Jordan Lyles, where you call him up way too early.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, so there's always that as well. I mean, but again, it's hard to keep somebody down if they're hitting 315 in AAA with 45 home runs.
Yeah.
I mean, now the expectation. Well, I wouldn't say the expectation, but the hope would be like you can turn that into at least half those numbers. Maybe you hit 270 and you hit 20 home runs. I mean, that's pretty good production out of a guy that you didn't have to, that you called up from AAA. I mean, so I don't know. I think we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. I mean, so it's great that he's off to a fantastic start in spring training. So, let's just see. Let's just get through spring training, and we'll take it from there. I'm
Healthy.
sure. Yeah, I'm sure we'll talk about him maybe once, maybe twice. Throughout the rest of the season. So
look, if we change the narrative from outfield talk to Cam Smith talk, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. You know what I mean? So,
no,
we kind of talked on Christian Walker. I mean, it's kind of concerning. We're not going to spend a lot of time on it because we kind of already did. But, I said before, he's got a history of injuries, or this particular injury, missed a lot of time last season with it. No reports yet on anything. I'm sure they're going to do an MRI. If they didn't do it already, probably tomorrow, maybe. So hopefully we get some update on that and what the extent of the injury is. Obviously, we hope it's not too serious. Maybe, just a little tweak. But in other news, man, they had the first round of some roster moves. Some guys got sent down. Melton was one of them. Am I correct, Christopher? Kind of expected.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I would put it this way: pretty much everybody that was set down to minor league camp are pretty much guys that you kind of were expected to be sent down. So, I mean, there's no shock. They didn't send. Unfortunately, there was no Dubon being sent down or Chas McCormick being sent down. It was all a bunch of guys that some people they'd be like, who are these guys? But for other people they're like, yeah, makes sense. So nothing too shocking on the sending down front.
Well, I mean, and that's pretty typical anyway.
Unless you want to list the names.
Yeah, it's like get these guys some experience in the big league spring training camp, and then let them knock it around with all the veterans and stuff like that. And then after you get through a few games, I mean, you see this. It's like it's hilarious when you go to a spring training game and it's like one of the first 3-4 games. Like, there's not even room in the dugout for all these guys. Like, the bullpen is just like overflowing with dudes. And then all of a sudden, the fifth inning ends, and you see like 35 people leaving the field, like literally to go grab their golf bag. It's hilarious. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, this is just routine. And Chris, just like you said, it's like there were no huge surprises in this. I mean, these were guys that we were expecting to be in AAA anyway. So I don't think it's anything that, we need to be too terribly concerned about. So anyway, good for you guys. Go stretch it out in the minor league camp, and let's move on.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
if you had if you had Aaron Brown, Jose Fleury, Jacob Melton, Miguel Palma, or Tommy Sacco Jr. on your bingo card to make the opening day roster, you're not going to win. Those were the guys that were sent down.
Well, I was going to draft one of those guys in a couple of weeks.
I know. Fantasy baseball. Tommy Sacco was my guy. So hopefully we have minor league spots.
You have future roster spots on our draft.
Yeah.
I got a question here. Question from Abbas 3035. Question is, will DeCenzo get some run?
Pretty much from everything I've read and I saw is that they're legit going to give him a run at left field. For the last few times I've been able to catch a game, I think of one of those games I saw him in left field. So I'm assuming his spot right now is going to be, or his pathway to the roster is going to be probably the outfield. I think at third base they're pretty much set between Isaac Paredes and maybe Dubon as a backup. But I think for pretty much anybody that's trying to make a roster spot that's not the handful of guys that already have a roster spot, like I said, I think their path is going to be through the outfield. And if you guys have seen anything else, on DeCenzo, I mean, go ahead and say something. But like I said, the last time I saw him, he was playing left field.
Yeah, no, I got the same thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's the same thing. No, go ahead, Bros. I'm just looking at something real quick.
No, I didn't honestly. I didn't have anything else to add. It's like, he's been playing left field. I mean, he's been getting his reps out there, but he hasn't been, I would say, necessarily impressing more than anything else. It's like he is going through the motions. He's getting things done, but so he's not screwing up. He's not exactly being the biggest all-star, that we could have expected either. So that's it.
Yeah,
that's
I mean, right now on Baseball Reference, he's got 16 at bats, 5 hits, a double, two ribs, 4 Ks, hitting.
This is a new PK.
Hitting 313 right now. So I don't even need to look up Chaz or Myers to know that they're not doing that. You know what I mean?
Hey, and I told you Myers, he hit a home run today.
Look, we all run into one.
That's not true. All three of us have hit 0 spring training home runs.
Well, okay, but I hit a lot of home runs in the show.
Yeah, that's the show. Well, and rookie mode doesn't count.
And to follow up on your comment, I was gonna say, go ahead.
No, I was just saying. I think. Yeah, I was just gonna comment on his comment. Yeah, I think the corner outfield position for DeCenzo is probably going to be the way he makes, this team out of spring and how he gets onto the field and gets some at bats. I don't think he has defensively. He's not as good as Myers in center field. So I think really it does come down to the corner outfield positions for him to get some play. And then I agree also, man, with Walker being hurt, you've got Caratini, platooning at first with Singleton, slim, jacked up Singleton, and DeCenzo can play there also. So it's good to have those positions under his belt that he had, that he can play. It's options, but I think the corner outfield is probably going to be the way for him. And look, we talked about it earlier. He had a great winter, and he's still kind of on that same level for right now. It's 2 weeks. 2 weeks in? 2 weeks into spring, so I think I'd like to see more out of him. I would.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there all the reports about how he was mashing over in all the Central American leagues that he was playing in. I mean, why not? I mean, at this point, it's more based on of what's the worst that could happen. He can overproduce than what you expected, or I mean, he doesn't. I mean, so I mean, I'll put it this way: out of all the guys that we called up last season, he's the one that looked closest to being somebody that belonged on the major league roster.
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree. I definitely want to see more out of that kid, this year. So, Forrest Whitley's doing some things, huh?
I've been telling you guys, Forrest Whitley, dude. That dude is the truth. I'm telling you, man. That dude, him. Oh my gosh, dude. Him and Logan Van Way. Like I've been telling you about Logan Van Way too. Them two. Like I wouldn't be surprised if both of them end up making the roster out of spring training. To be honest with you.
Yeah, no. I mean, Whitley's he's making it difficult for now. Yeah, he definitely is. I'm happy for him, man. The dude. We all know the story. We all know the story with him, right? So I'm happy to see him succeed right now, and he just needs to get a fly swatter to get that injury bug away, and just hopefully he can put something together, and I'd like to see more of it. And that Van Way, I think I hadn't really heard much, to be honest with you about it until you brought him up, but very impressed with that one.
Yeah, I mean, again, the more options you have, the more cheap options you have in your bullpen, that's going to pay off a lot. And to answer the comment by what is it, Abbas or Abbas? I'm going to go with Abbas 3035. Man, I would probably assume that they probably told Altuve that go through the motions in left field, but don't, I wouldn't say it's more about you being stupid. I think it's more of like when you see it, hey, nobody wants to see a left-hander or a left fielder one hop a throw to shortstop, but I'm also pretty sure it's Altuve, and they're probably like, listen, we know you're learning this position. Don't try to go He-Man, or I don't know how old you are. I don't know. You may not know what He-Man is. Don't go 100% and get hurt in spring training.
Well, but didn't he throw one to the backstop like a couple games, like his first game or short?
He has the power.
There's the few times that there was like a couple plays that I watched, and I was like, man, he doesn't look terrible. I mean, but of course, like I said, I've been watching some of these games, kind of in and out, but like, I mean, if he's one hopping the shortstop, it may just because he's not going 100%. Maybe he didn't grip the ball correctly. I don't know. I would assume that by opening day, he's going to be ready to rock and roll in left field as best as he can. That's what I would assume.
But I'll also see, I mean, we watched pretty much every game last year, how much ball we've watched just in the past. I mean, if the dude gets a base knock to left field and, he's jogging down the first and he's not making a hard turn, those guys in the outfield, they'll one hop it to second anyway, like when they're throwing it in, like not any, but a lot of them. So I think it's probably too early. I agree. It's probably just, hey, look, man, like we just need you to not get hurt out here. Okay. That's it. Just catch the ball and throw it in. So, but that error that I was talking about was the first situational baseball play that he was a part of. And, that's that's probably for me the concerning part, right? Because cool, like we're learning how to not learning, but we're learning how to track fly balls in the outfield. We're trying to learn how to feel for the fence, the angles to take for fly balls. But when you have that situational play where it's, we got first and third, less than 2 outs, are we throwing it home or just conceding to run and going to second, whatever it is, right? Because now if you overthrow or short hop home, well, now you're just giving the runner at first possibly 2 bags, right? So I think that part of it, I mean, he's an athlete, man. He's fantastic. He'll figure it out. But like when you're not in those situational plays, I mean, you can't really simulate that. I mean, you can, but it's not the same, right? So I think it's just going to take time. It's just new for him, new for us watching him out there. I mean, he's made some good catches. So I think the main thing is, hey, practice out there catching fly balls, tracking them. Don't get hurt, and
don't overthrow the cutoff man.
And don't overthrow.
Definitely don't get hurt.
Definitely don't get hurt. I mean, he's going to be playing left. That's just what it is. that's just what's happening. So he's playing left. But we'll see.
That was a fantastic analysis, PK.
Hey man, I'm trying here. I got my stats up. I got good analysis, I think.
I don't even know who this guy is. It's like, this is not the PK I know.
Well, I figured we had to take this a little bit more serious. But no, I think, man, this is a good episode. I enjoy it. We could probably go on and go on and go on, but I want to thank everybody for tuning in.
Is when are we going to start doing our breakdown of the divisions and our second annual divisional
completely wrong analysis?
Yeah, completely wrong predictions, our divisional predictions.
I'm ready.
Like I said, we're 3 weeks out now. I mean, so
I think we needed. Like I don't know. Let's say in 2 weeks. Let's do 2 weeks from tonight.
I mean, do we even want to waste our time on like the AL East and the
Hell
AL
yeah,
Central?
we do. All of it.
All right.
The same thing we did last year.
All right, I like it. So we'll start on next week.
What we need to do, what we need to do is we need to go back to last year's episode where we broke it down and write down just for shits and giggles and write down what we said. Because I know that we completely missed the AL Central. I know that.
Oh yeah, we totally did. Yeah,
completely.
Right, so we'll start with the AL Central next week. We'll start with the AL Central next week, and then we'll listen to what we said, and then what actually happened.
Yeah, there we go.
You don't want to go East, Central, West?
No. I mean, I figured
let's start on the coast. No, we got to start on the coast and make our way to the other coast.
Okay, all right. We'll start with the East.
We'll go East and
so
go.
Like we didn't mess up the East as much as we did the Central.
Yeah. It'll be good. Okay, so we'll do that next week. So everybody that's watching, listening, please tune in for that. It'll be a lighthearted, fun, make fun of ourselves, but we'll see what we'll do. We'll make our predictions for the divisions going this year. I want to thank everybody tuning in. As always, you guys can find us on X at Juicebox Heroes, Facebook, Juicebox Heroes as well. Follow us, ask us questions. We'll respond, interact with us. Thank you all for listening. And this has been the Juicebox Heroes podcast. And we will talk to y'all next week.
Book 'em.
Have a fantastic weekend.
Fantastic.